It's basically you're hiring a fraction of the entire team. Instead of hiring one person with limited time and expertise, you're hiring an agency that has 25 different experts. So it makes perfect sense to hire an agency.
So thank you for having us back. Excited today to talk a little bit more about the methodology and the knowledge and the expertise that goes behind everything that we do here at Parrots Lab. So first, I want to talk about, the business owners that we work with and the time expectation. So let's talk about the time expectation for clients and business owners that we work with. How do they know when it's the right time to engage with an agency or to pursue marketing efforts to begin with?
Yeah, so if we're talking to a solopreneur, think about us 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. We were, barely surviving, I would say. We were just making enough money to pay our bills and to pay the mortgage. And we started this business on the side. We still had to invest in marketing. Otherwise, so think about it. Marketing is the foundation of everything. So even in the traditional sense of marketing is to go to a chamber of commerce networking event and shake hands. That's still marketing, right? So, but of course, when we're talking, I think you're mentioning the reference is to how to invest in a proper agency, proper content engine. That will have to come later down the line when you are already more established, you have enough revenue coming in to not only be sufficient to fulfill your lifestyle, but also to have money that you can reinvest in the business.
Okay, so what kind of questions would a business owner that's getting to that point be asking themselves?
Yeah, so first of all, let's say, again, each individual case is different, but if we're talking about from pure, like one person business, we're talking about, okay, what do I need, how much I need to sustain myself? Like if I was to live and pay the bills and not be homeless, how much do I need? And so let's say I need 30,000, 40,000, whatever that number is. Okay, the first question is, if I go and hustle every day from a networking event to another, if I knock on doors, if I canvas, if I cold call, if I look at my contacts and call them all. So all of that is all marketing, but it is marketing that is in the currency of that investment is time. Mm-hmm. So I need 30 to 40,000 to live. If I'm not making that money, then that's all I have. I have that time, that phone, and I'm going to be calling to get the second customer and to get the second customer just to be able to feed my family. But then once that works, now you're not worried about starving anymore. Now you think, okay, well, I got my bills paid and I've been hustling and I've been investing all that time into getting those customers. Can I start getting some assistance? Maybe some people start with a VA. Let me have somebody to bounce off ideas with, someone who can help me with the tasks. And then slowly you start build up a support system in the different areas of business. You need support system, right? So when it comes to the areas of business, we keep on repeating, what are the areas of business? There's the marketing, the sales, production, and admin. So I started, somebody like watching us starting with oneself, then you add a little bit one person, and then that one person becomes a joker assisting in everything. And then after that, you start bringing a little bit more specialized help, someone in the production, whatever service you're offering, you bring someone to help you with the production, someone to help you with the admin. And then the more you grow, the more you have specialized people in these different departments. And when it comes to marketing, this is when you have to make a decision whether you hire in-house or you hire an agency like ourselves. Mm-hmm. Of course, we have a strong case for our agency because we are an agency. So, of course, we're going to have to talk about, why we think we're much better than hiring in-house, because it's basically you're hiring a fraction of the entire team. And so instead of hiring one person with limited time and expertise, you're hiring an agency that has 25 different experts, and they take you on a client for the fraction of the amount you need to pay if you want to hire one person in-house. So it makes perfect sense to hire an agency once you're able to afford $2,000 to $5,000 a month investment.
So there's definitely a strategic prioritization that needs to happen to get to that point where you determine whether you're ready to take those efforts to the next level.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Exactly.
And time being, of course, our most valuable asset and currency. What can business owners who work with us expect to get back for themselves when it comes to time?
Absolutely. That's the biggest pain that we see a lot of our clients have, is that they don't have time for social media. It's like the first thing, I don't have time for that. And I understand that. Like if you look at a typical entrepreneur starting a business, they barely have time for anything. They talk about like work-life balance. And this lady here is a witness for what it takes to start a business. So time is, of course, of immense value. What do you think, Diana?
No, I agree. There isn't a lot of work-life balance integration when you are starting off as a business owner. And so a big part of why we do what we do and why we encourage business owners to hire people like this is so that they could focus on what they're good at and let us handle what they're not good at, right? They shouldn't have to be a content creator and a social media present, like a social media doing all of these little the TikTok dances and all of that, right? They should be focusing on the production part, on what it is that they're good at, and then we will take care of them by making sure that when it comes to marketing, they don't ever have to worry about that.
Yeah, a lot of people, especially business owners, because they're hustlers and they like to save money. We are all born with that, like, if I can learn how to do this, I don't have to pay. You can say, if I learn how to paint my room, why do I have to pay a painter? And then you can start, projecting that across everything, including the business that you just start. And that's a common mistake.
Because in our minds, we're thinking, I can do this myself, right? It's so much easier. It's so much less expensive. But you've heard that saying, like, if you're cheap, then you have to pay twice. But if you pay for the good stuff, right? And if you pay for someone that knows how to do it from A to Z, then you only have to pay once. And you don't have to go through the hassle of trying to experiment, getting jaded, getting frustrated, and then having to do it on your own.
Yeah.
So true.
I mean, if your car breaks, yes, with the help of ChatGPT and Claude and YouTube, I can figure it out. Will it take me 2-3 days? Maybe.
Do I want to go in the car with you? Not so much.
Exactly. I think that's what a lot of people are thinking.
Yeah.
In their head, they're thinking, if I watch YouTube, if I get a tutorial, if I ask around, I could do it myself in 2 to 3 days.
Why pay Parrots Lab $2,000?
But I think
Exactly.
that's honestly, I think that's BS. I think that's BS because the reality is going to be in your head. You're thinking, I can just do it myself in a couple of days. But the reality is that you are most likely going to mess something up and make the problem worse. Yeah. And then you're going to have to pay so much more. You're going to have to be frustrated, stressed out, be without a car. And then when finally you give up and you're like, fine, let me tow it to the mechanic. Then they're going to be like, ooh, you made it worse. It's another $5,000.
Exactly.
Right?
100%.
Yep.
So-
You took the cheap, fast solution, but you sacrificed the quality so much that it ends up costing you so much more in time or money or whatever else down the line.
And I don't think it's fast. I think
Not always.
it's much slower to figure
True.
out on your own.
True.
Trial and error, every single thing.
True.
Yeah, I mean, when you hire an expert, it's a hack. You go quicker. You don't have to learn every single detail from A to Z.
It's working smarter, not harder.
Yeah,
Let us work for you.
100%.
Definitely. And then talking about the content production process, I think it's very mysterious to clients who haven't worked with us before. So what can they expect when it comes to time coming into the studio and producing something like this?
Absolutely. So the client, the first thing they need to do when they meet us and they decide to move ahead with us, as we pretty known already that we don't lock them in any sort of contract. So actually today I just had a conversation with a potential client. They said they would love to come and work with us, but they are locked in with some other agency. And so, and that's, in the end of the day, that's, sad for the client. But for us, and this is, we're taking a big risk doing that, by the way, we're saying to the client, look, hold us accountable. We're ready month by month. And if you're not happy with us, you can leave.
Yeah.
But that's also gives the client the freedom of choice, which we appreciate. So once they agree to the scope of work, then they get onto a subscription with us, some kind of like as if you're paying for ChatGPT type deal. Once you have that subscription in place, the next step is to book an onboarding call. So the onboarding call is usually the time where we discuss more about their goals, their strategy, what their aspirations are, what their concerns are. And then it's an opportunity for us to introduce them to their team, because our team now becomes the client's team. So we will introduce to the team. We will also manage on how the communication take place. And then during that call, we also schedule their first recording session. So studio recording is, there are slots available. And then on the onboarding call, we show the client how to book their studio recording session. We prefer that to become a monthly on the first Monday, on the second Tuesday, or whatever that case be, so that it reoccurs on a monthly basis. So nobody has to worry about it. It's on the calendar. We know it's happening. But if some client wants to choose every single month, when do they want to record? We have a link that allows them to do that. And that's the onboarding part. And then after the onboarding, they record. But before they record, actually, I should probably go back up a little bit here. So once the onboarding and we have a recording time, we have a time to work on, now our planning team start doing research. So now we have somebody who's going to do all the research about that niche. So if it's about pets, he's going to go deep into the industry, learn everything you need to learn about the pets, summarize the insights for the rest of the team to be aware of that industry. They were going to be looking for popular keywords people are using to search for that specific niche online, whether via Google or YouTube. We have the tools and mechanisms to capture those search terms. And then we will also look for the content, best performing content in that space. Who are the biggest creators in that space? So that body of research will be provided to the account manager so that we can start building our customer avatars and then understanding who are we talking to at the deeper level, what are their pains, their aspiration. And then we build our scripts if they're recording on a teleprompter via like reels, scripted reels, or our questions when we interview them on a podcast, we build those based on that research. So we have a strategy in place that takes the client from point A to point B, and that research is vital piece of deliverable from our end to the client. And then once the client approves the scripts or approves the questions of the interview, then they come to record. And then once they record, it's smooth sailing at this point. We record, and then the footage go into editing. Usually we take around 2 weeks to deliver the final product. In the meantime, our account managers and social media managers are putting some preliminary content out there, content that they design via Canva, videos that they can use from the client library that they shared with us. So we'll start optimizing the profile. We edit everything, making sure that everything looks professional. And then by the time the videos are ready, the client will have to approve them. So that's very important. And, we never publish anything without client approval. Once the client approves the content, then our team will, do the thumbnails, do the reel covers, and then start scheduling them to go every day on social media. And so that's kind of like the process from start to finish.
Excellent. Thank you.